Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my humble home, my humble casa, my hacienda on the windy hills of Livingston, Montana. Okay, today's date is the 18th of April of 2022, and let me enlarge myself a little bit here, even though it's not going to improve my looks none. That's true, too. And let me get this browser out of your face, okay? Now, I'm going to turn on Google Earth here in just a minute to help me with my movie file here, but I had a fellow in the comments on one of my movies here on YouTube asked me if I couldn't do a movie file about places to camp. And I apparently look, it's like this. I can't cover the whole state of Montana, or this movie file here would be 2 or 3 hours long from the places that I know where you can go camp. Now, right off the get-go, there's two types of camping that I'm personally aware of as a native of the state of Montana. You've got pay campgrounds, and you've got a lot more of them than I'd like to see in this state. And then you got free camping. And what basically I'm going to concentrate on free camping because, well, I don't even like to talk about pay campgrounds. I have never paid to camp somewhere only one time in my life, and that was because I was having vehicle problems. But just to shell out a bunch of greenbacks to enjoy Mother Nature, no. This stuff is here. In my humble opinion, it should be free for all to enjoy. Okay. Now, right off the get-go, I don't go to sleep on me. Wake up. I'm going to give you folks a tip. Most of the time on USFS land, that's United States Forest Service land, that is your land, by the way. It's taxpayer land. Most camping in open USFS areas is free. And that also applies to BLM lands. Bureau of Land Management. Okay. Now you're probably asking, well, how do I know what's what and what's what? You know, good question. I'm going to show you something here. Okay. The best thing that you can do is stop at the USFS office here in Livingston, if this is where you plan on going. And if you plan on camping up at Paradise Valley, because that's all I'm covering today, just stop in there and chit chat with the ladies running the desk there, whatever have you, and they'll give you maps and they'll tell you and ask a few questions and they'll fill you in on what's up. You know what I mean? So, I hope that made some sense here. Let me shrink myself down here and pull myself over here like this and get out of the way and turn on good old Google Earth so I can show you some stuff here. Now, I'll show you exactly where the USFS office here in Livingston is. Okay, right now I've got the map already loaded here on Google Earth with Livingston, okay? Now, let me go in here like this. Well, first of all, let me move this over here and let me get my things together, folks, because I'm clumsy at this. Come on, laugh. Don't go to sleep. Laugh. Have a little humor, do a little jig, do a little dance, that kind of stuff. Okay, let's go to search right here real quick, and I was already in here once and misspelled this office thing. But watch. The USFS office right there, right on the south edge of Livingston, Montana on US 89, okay? Just stop right in there and you can get all the directions you want and questions answered and all that kind of stuff, okay? Now, this is going due south. Remember, watch these arrows over here. North is always where the red's pointing up like that. That's north. Right here is south. But as you're going out of town, you're not even really out of town. You're just past the freeway, I don't know, a few blocks or something. But the USFS office is on your left-hand side. You can't miss it. There's a great big sign out there. But they can fill you in on what's freebie land, what's government land. In other words, pay attention here, taxpayer land. You paid for it. You paid for BLM land. Are you hearing me? You paid for USFS land. It's yours to camp on, provided that they don't have the roads closed, provided that there's no fire restrictions, or because sometimes they close down the woods here because the fire threat, forest fire threat gets real high and stuff like that. But as long as these lands are open, you can generally camp for free. And the rule is you can only camp for, 14 days in one spot. Then you must move your camp. You can't freeload or whatever they call it, but most people after 2 weeks are probably pretty burned out on camping in one spot anyway. So, but this is the place right here. Bottom line, it says USDA Forest Service Office, same, USFS, same thing. Okay, right off the get-go here, let me roll this down. Let me show you something here. Okay, and I've had you folks out here before, one people that follow my channel anyway. Okay, right, just moving right to the east, right out in here. Let me see if I can figure out this real quick. Like, there is a chunk of land. Believe it or not, that's right. I want to say, yeah, it's right here. Right there. It's not very far off of 190. Yeah, they're calling it 190. Come on, man, this thing. Hang in here with me, folks. This thing's touchy. There we go. Okay, here's our airport, the Mission Field Airport. But right here, right dead in, let's see, let me make sure I'm getting this right. Okay. I didn't mean to drop that. Okay, I'll just leave that pin that you've seen right there. Right in here, there's 660 acres, believe it or not. I can't really show you how to get out there, but it's pretty simple. There's 660 acres of BLM land that you can camp in, but the problem is there's no water out there. There's not a stitch of greenery, trees, shade, any of that kind of stuff. You're basically in the shadows of the Livingston Peak and all that kind of stuff. Okay, but I'm just sitting here to show you that right here, real close to town, there's an area that's actually free. It's not the best looking area in the world. For you folks that follow my channel and you've seen me out in this big open field, shooting my bows or pistols or any of this other kind of stuff, that's where I'm at. And that's why I know, because I checked with the Park County Sheriff's Office, and I checked, who else did I check with? I checked with a land surveyor that I know real well, that told me that was, BLM land. So there you are. And I've seen people camping out there, but people usually don't stay out there very long. Like I say, no water, no shade, no nothing, but it's very, very close to town. You're only a few miles out. Okay, let me move on. I'm bogged down again. Okay, you take like this Livingston Peak area. Here again, this is pretty nice country up in here. You could go up there at the trailhead and camp, but there again, there's water near there, but you're going to have to walk to it. Trust me on this. I know that Livingston Peak area real well, but where the trailhead is, you could camp there. But the road going in there, forget about dragging a camper up there. Forget about dragging a camper up there. That road is too rough, too rocky, and everything. You're going to be doggone lucky you get a pickup up there. Okay, I'm just starting this off close to Livingston, so you guys can get a gist of this. Okay, now let me come down here real quick, and right here, this Pine Creek. Now I've had my channel in here before on Pine Creek, but this is actually right there. Pine Creek Campground. If this thing is just stop being touchy on me. Okay, see all these roads around in here? This is actually a pretty big campground, but it's also a pay campground. I have been up there lots of times. I've spent lots of hours in Pine Creek, but I've never stayed overnight up there. Way up on top, Black Mountain and up in there I have, but not at that campground. But I do believe that's a pay campground, and that campground right there will hold like, I don't know, 25 or 30 campers for sure. It's a pretty big campground, maybe even as high as 50 campers. I don't know, right here. And this Pine Creek Campground is only 15, 16 miles southeast of Livingston, Montana, okay? It's just that simple. And the access road is US 540, which is right. Let's see. Let me go down here. Yeah, which is right here. This road right here is US 540, okay? That's what we call the East River Road. All right. You got camping there, those two spots. And then I'm winging this, guys, because I'm one of these kind of guys. Since I'm a native of this state, it's really easy for me to tell where you can camp and where you can't camp, because usually there'll be signs all over the place with literally with dollar signs plastered on them, letting you know that you're getting yourself involved in a pay campground, which I know that people that are dragging fifth wheels and stuff like that got to have a way to dump their garbage or sewage and all that. Well, I'm sorry for you folks that got that big hardware like that, because you can't get up to some of these places I'm talking about. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. With a regular camper, you can. With a small pull along, you can, and a pop up and some of this stuff like this. But if you got these great big massive, 30-foot and beyond and fifth wheels and all that, a lot of these places that I'm going to even mumble about, no can do. You just can't do it. So don't go around. If you come up in this country, get yourself all jammed up in these mountains. Don't blame old Big Jim Barn here that I didn't tell you, or I didn't let you know. I don't want to lead you down the wrong trail, so to speak. Okay, right off the get-go here, let's just zoom over to a place real quick. This is just improv that I'm doing here, folks. Okay, let's go here now remember about that United States Forest Service office there, but let's go to Daly Lake. And I've had this featured on my channel before too. Okay, Daly Lake, Montana. There's a lot of state land around here. I happen to know that there's no fee to camp around that lake and everything. And matter of fact, that guy that got killed by that grizzly bear, it was just east of Daly Lake, up a place called 6 Mile Creek. The fellow, with all due respect, that got mauled to death here about a month or so ago. But anyway, and no, there's not too many grizzly bears around Daly Lake. But watch. Right there is Daly Lake. This is one of the very few lakes that we have low here in Paradise Valley, Okay, let me get that right. Okay. Let me see right there. Daly Lake Campground. Can you see that? It's not a very big lake. I know, I've been up in here. Okay. Now you start getting back in this country over here. This is definitely grizzly bear country. There is a road that goes back in here. It's called 6 Mile Creek and all that. And there's camping up there if you want to do it. But that road is rougher than a cob. Okay. I just thought I'd tell you that. But just remember, there's some camping up on 6 Mile Creek. In other words, meaning this Daly Lake and 6 Mile Creek itself. Let me spin you around this country a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's some rough country, ladies and gentlemen. Don't kid yourself. All the time I've been sitting here doing this business with the Absorkies, I know I've made it perfectly clear that you're not dealing with some molehills here. I mean, these mountains are big. They're rugged. They're tough. And all that. And what really kills me is when people come up here and they think that they're tougher than these mountains. You aren't. Just remember that. When you go up in these mountains here, what you need to have, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't mean to be preaching here or anything like that, you need respect. It's just that simple. Okay. But there's Daly Lake, so there's camping there. Okay. Let me try another one real quick. Mill Creek. The good one. Mill Creek is a real good one. Yeah, Mill Creek, Paradise Valley, Montana. Got to specify that. There's a reason being. Watch. There's lots of Mill Creeks around. And watch. Okay. Paradise Valley, and then there's Mill Creek. And, well, actually, this thing went wrong on me here. Sorry about that. We'll get there sooner or later. Not exactly where I want to be. Let me try this guy here. Nah, that's not going to do it. That's another thing. There's lots of mill cricks in Montana, so hang on here for a minute. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, we're not in Mill Creek, I'll guarantee you that. Sacagawea Park. Okay, anyway, Paradise Valley. Let's just go up this way. Instead of trying to search my way in here, I'll just go the way I know I should. Okay, there's Deep Creek. I know where we're at now. I'm pretty sure. Okay, there's Pine Creek. Let's truck on down here. I was already up to Pine Creek. Now, this is facing due east, guys, so yeah, okay, good. Right here. You can get here off of East River Road US 540, but you just go up Mill Creek up here. And you can also on US 89, there's a sign out there saying Mill Creek. Just turn left and follow the road. Just follow your nose, and it'll take you right up in this canyon here. And there is probably about 10 places up Mill Creek, totally free to camp. You can get a small camper in there. I would not take a real big camper in there, but there's 10 and totally free. I know this for a fact. So let's just take a look at this country because it's pretty interesting. See right here, here's a campground here, Snowbank Campground. I don't think that that's pay, but that's one of them places that, I don't go into very often because usually there's only like maybe 3 or 4 camping spots in that Snowbank Campground. But as you go up the creek, there's all kinds of places on your right hand side. You'll see the camping places where people had their campers and where fireplaces have been and all that kind of stuff. So let me try to slide up here just a little bit closer if I can. Okay, good. I'm going to show you what this country looks like here. Okay, here's right up here, Mill Creek. Just remember this. Mill Creek. Let me 3D you. Let me circle you around here. In other words, yeah, there's some wild country up in Mill Creek, but you can get a small camper up in there and all that. Of course, all these places you can tent camp too, but then again, you got the bear thing. So I know I've warned people about bears. And while I'm on the subject of bears, if you do camp, make sure you keep your food locked up in your camper or your tent in airtight containers. Airtight containers so the bears can't smell your food, so they won't come and harass you and maul you. It's that simple. Keep your food locked up, airtight containers. Okay, Mill Creek. Now let me think of another one real quick. Big Creek is another place. A few free camping spots up on Big Creek, but me at least they're free in there. So Big Creek Road, okay. Big Creek, Paradise Valley, Montana. Okay, let's see if okay. Right here. Man. See, guys, look at see you can see how this map did this. I mean, there's a lot of places. There's no way in the world the best. There's no way in the world I can cover this. The best advice I can give you is stop it if you're totally unfamiliar with this place. This area here, Paradise Valley, South Central Montana, is just stop at the USFS and get information that way. That's the best thing to do. Big Creek Road. Let's try that. Okay, right there. Big Creek. Big Creek is just a few miles past Immigrant on the right-hand side. That area, if you travel up here, there's not very many camping spots, but you'll see them. And believe you me, this is bear country. Don't kid yourself, man. This is grizz country. But there's a few places that you can camp up here. There's also a great big dude ranch up here. I mean, with tennis courts and all that kind of stuff. It's dropping pin mass, man. This stuff makes me mad. Should give me a bigger computer, I guess, and a bigger application here. Right here, this Sunnybrook Spring area, this is all really good fishing in here. But if you go up here, you just got to trust me on this. You just travel up on this road, and you're going to run into a bunch of stuff. And most of the stuff you can camp, provided that you want to get off of the road for sure, because this road gets a little bit of traffic in here. See, right here. Here's that great big fancy place I was telling you about. They call it the Big Sky Ranch or something. Yeah, they got tennis courts in here and, horseback riding and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a big layout out there. It's a dude ranch is what we call it up here in Montana, okay? But you go past that, you go up in here, you see what I'm getting at? And there's places to pull off on these weeds up here and weeds up in the bushes and go camping, okay? So there you are with that. So, I don't know if I should go on and on here because this video will get way too long. But the main thing is, while I'm thinking about the main thing is also the worst mistake that a person can make when they come up in this country looking for somewhere to camp is camping on private property. Don't do it. The trespassing in the state of Montana will buy you a fine of about, I don't know, I think it's $600-700 or something. And if you see somewhere that's real nice that you might want to camp, and it's fenced off and everything, what you're supposed to do is get a hold of the owner. But generally, owners don't let people up in this country. They usually don't let them hunt, camp, fish, or anything on private property. That's been my experience. So I just go off onto these out of the way places. That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is out of the way places. So it doesn't cost you a bunch of money. But the very best thing that you can do is get on Google Earth here, look around. You can even leave me a comment. You can send me an email. I'll help you out that way or whatever have you. And by the way, I get people wanting to know what my email address is. I don't have it posted on my splash page or anything like that because of mail bots, spam bots. But my email address is JJUMBBOW. That's supposed to mean jumbo. That's my nickname from broadcasting way back in the day. JJUMBBOW@gmail.com. So if you got a question about camping here in Montana or around this south central Montana, Paradise Valley or any of this, just write to me or comment to me and I'll try to help you out. But what I'm basically trying to tell you is anywhere where you have USFS land or BLM land, for the most part, unless it's restricted for some reason or the other or whatever have you, you can camp there. Bottom line. And I could just keep flying around and all over the place here. I don't even know where else there's just lots of places. Up on Dry Creek is another place. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there's a series of dry creeks. Believe you me, I don't know if I can get there or not. Well, I can if I could get Google Earth to cooperate with me. Dry Creek. Okay, right there. That's what I want. Trailhead 132. Now you can actually camp up here. Watch. We're going to fly to Dry Creek. Boom. Right there. And believe you me, that distance is not that far from Big Creek. But this area right up in here. See this? Let me get rid of this dang thing. See this kind of a washed out area right here? Well, this is basically where you can put a camper. But Dry Creek, pay attention to the name, Dry Creek. There ain't no water up there. See, when you camp, to me, You want to camp somewhere where you got some shade. You want to camp somewhere where you can pick up a few twigs and make you a fire. You definitely want to camp somewhere where you can get you a nice, fresh, clean drink of water. And this summer, I've got plans on hiking into a place where the water is so clear and so clean that it makes city water look disease filled, or whatever word you want to use. It makes city water look funky, you know. So there's a few ingredients, but some people are just so glad to get out of the concrete jungles and stuff. I don't think they mind wherever they camp, but whatever here, So you got lots of paid places around here, but you got lots of freebie places too. And I think I've explained what you need to do here. Okay, I just showed you a few places because there's many places. I can't cover it all. I just can't, not one file. But my main thing is to have you become aware of the fact that your taxes help pay for USFS land. The government might think that it's their land, but it's your land. And that goes with BLM land too. So I just want to make sure of all that. Make sure you know that stuff. So I know this ain't going to make me look any better, but that's a little joke I've got, Yeah, okay. Put myself up there for a second. So that's really about all I got for this movie file. This was very impromptu. I'm just trying to fill a request I had from a fellow that made a comment. And by the way, if you want to comment to me, go ahead. I'm more than welcome. Try to keep the hate to a minimum. I'm an old guy. I don't need it all. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I just don't need the hate and all that. And, subscribe to my channel if you like what you're seeing here. And give me a thumbs up, give me a finger wave, give me a thumbs down, ring my bell, so to speak, jump, jive, and holla, do the jig, do a little dance, all that kind of stuff. And so I don't think I have anything more to say. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just take this video for what it's worth. We shall see you on down the trail, and adios, my friends. And let me get out of here. Okay, let me go up here. Can't do it that way. Let me go over here. Okay. We shall see you on down the trail. Adios.